Hey everybody, it's Kathy Burns with Real Estate Riches. And I've got a story to tell you today about comfortably uncomfortable. Does that sound like a weird scenario? Well, it's really common, and I'm going to share with you this story. So if you like things like this where you can learn from them, subscribe below, share it with your friends, and let's get at it. So, I have a podcast series within this channel, and I'm interviewing agents all over the country. My target market of who I'm talking to are the 40-plus-year-old agents who are potentially struggling in the industry, new to the industry as a second career, third career, and also struggling with tech. So as I'm interviewing these agents, interesting things come up all the time. I'm with EXP and many of them are not. I'm not pushing EXP. However, am I saying, hey, have you checked it out? Yes, I do. That's the inside scoop. But there's no pressure. And I'm truly intrigued with their stories, even their responses. Because one gal I talked to this week really liked her, impressive as could be. And she's built a good business. She started from nothing and she built her business up. She's got a team. She's with a competing company out there. That's all good. I don't care. We all have to make a living and we all have to start in different places and we all move through. But part of her story was interesting. She probably moved companies in her maybe 15 plus year career 5 times. Me too. I've moved 5 times. And we agreed. What we were doing was, it wasn't that we didn't like our last place, it's that it didn't serve us anymore. And so she was open to looking, she pursued, she found what she wanted, and each time it leveled her up and rounded her out about who she was in her business, right? Your confidence grows, your knowledge grows, all of that grows. And when I said to her, are you interested in looking at EXP, or has anybody talked to you about it? Things like that. And she goes, I'm comfortable, which is interesting because that is a common thing. Or I love my broker or whatever, but this one today is more common than you know. I'm comfortable. And it's a lot of work to change companies, right? You know. So when you change your signs, you change your marketing, blah, 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 it's a lot. And now here we are. This is April when I'm doing this particular recording. And it's also when the season often kicks off for most people. So now they get busy. Are they interested in moving? Not necessarily. However, there's one little thing that's happening in our industry right now, and that's all these NAR changes. So there's a lot of agents that are unsettled and wondering, I'm going to need to learn new things. Some companies are really empowering their agents. Some are doing a little, some are ignoring it. And companies like EXP, we're all over it. So there's a lot of confidence there for me. Now, do I love EXP? Yes, I'm crazy about it because it's changed my life. But that's another story. So I said to her, we finished up our interview, and when we were all done, she said, can I interview you? I thought she meant for like a recording or something, but that wasn't it. She said, you're energetic. I was much older than her, probably by 20 years. And she said, you seem to be very enthusiastic. You seem to have a lot of energy. You're making these recordings and stuff. She goes, how do you get up? Some days I don't want to get up. And she has a much more comfortable lifestyle than most. I mean, she's married. I think she's got kids that are home. I think they're teenagers. So, but you never know somebody's financial situation, right? I think she's feeling bored. I think she might even be on the verge of burnout, which is a lot of us. And now we've got this NAR scenario popping up. So you got to learn new things. And learning is exhausting for some. For me, it really charges my world because I love learning. Are there days when I would just like to lay in bed and not get out of bed? Yeah, I think about that a lot. However, she said, what's your secret, Kathy? And I said, well, I told her my story about back in the 90s. Yeah, I'm a lot older than her. I said, I got sued. And I got sued for fraud, and I was the innocent party in this deal. However, it doesn't matter. When you're sued, you're sued. Everybody gets sued. At the time, I was an insurance agent and had sold our best friend an insurance policy for his company. And he was trying to scoot around the rules of how you get paid on the policy because neither him nor his partner were insurable parties. But if you buy a company policy, There aren't health questions on it under certain rules. And that's what this is. And I said, go have your CPA review it, have your attorneys review it, and if you like it, we can go ahead and get the insurance on everybody, including you and your business partner. If you've ever had a partnership, you know that you should have a buy-sell agreement that defines all the rules of how, if the partnership breaks up, whether it's death, marriage, divorce, or you add people in through marriage and divorce and subtract them. You can have really sticky situations if you haven't laid this all out in a buy-sell agreement. So that's the platform, that's the foundation, right? However, if you've got a health scenario, which these two did, one guy had had cancer before, the other one had a heart condition, so they were uninsurable, but I was showing them a way that they could get insurance. Well, anyway, long story short, a week into the new policy, the guy with cancer, his cancer comes back and he dies within a month. Well, the other guy was supposed to be paying the premium based on a certain scenario, and he didn't. And he lied to me about it. I thought he was. Well, anyway, it blows up. He doesn't get his policy, so he sues the insurance company, sues me. Here's where it gets really messy. So in the suit, I was in a deposition for 7 hours. There was one potty break in 7 hours. At this stage of my life, that would be difficult. Anyway, 3 men, my attorney, the insurance company's attorney, and his attorney, beat me up for 7 hours. By the time they were done with me, I felt like I was the bad guy in the deal. They'd shaken all confidence out of me. I went from making at that time around $60,000 a year to 10. Well, I was a single mom. I didn't get child support. I didn't have health insurance on my kids. And you go from that, and I had my kids in private schools. So I was in trouble. I was in trouble emotionally, right? I'm not a believer in drugs at all. I'm not taking any of that garbage. However, I did have a hard time getting out there to go sell whatever I was selling, which was insurances, annuities, mutual funds, stocks, things like that, because that was my license. And so I dropped down to 10,000. I was about to lose my house. I was about to lose my car. I was really in a pickle, and I didn't know how to pick myself up, because it wasn't that I wasn't getting up and going out there. I just couldn't get the words out. I wasn't confident. I wasn't anything. I didn't even want to search for the leads. I didn't even want to call my own people because my confidence was gone. She said, how'd you get it back? And it was an interesting story. So I had an office in town. It was in a lower level in a building, and I was all by myself down there. And someone had left a CD, again, aging myself, outside my business office door. I grabbed it, I plugged it in my CD player, and it was all about network marketing. I don't even remember the name of the company that it was, but I was intrigued with it. I thought, oh, well, maybe I could do that on the side and make some money, and so I signed up for that. But I'm going to tell you the coolest thing about network marketing. It's so brilliant. And they seem to be the ones that have a corner on it, and it's personal development. And it was really exciting. So I'm starting to get charged up again. What's this personal development stuff? I'd never done anything like that. It was all brand new to me. So I started going to the meetings because I wanted to learn more about the personal development. I failed miserably at selling the product. But what I didn't fail miserably at was learning about personal development. And I lived in Michigan at the time, and we would drive to Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, where there was a place called the McGrain Self-Esteem Institute. And Bill McGrain, the father, I don't know if Junior is still around or not, but the father was incredible. I love that guy. And he leveled me up so much and helped me recognize how I was self-sabotaging myself by listening to that, lousy talk that they had implanted into my head, and my belief was down. And Bill Jr., I was there for, I think, 5 days. It was a big, really encompassing of how to really level yourself up. Highly recommend stuff like that. Well, anyway, he asked me, tell me a story, Kathy. He was interviewing me. Tell me a story of how you succeeded at a really challenging thing in your life, and I want to record it. So I just tell him something that happened of how I got my investment license, which was a very difficult license, Series 6 and Series 7 in the state of Michigan. I was going through a divorce. I had little children. I'd gotten run over by my own car. My father committed suicide. It's like a country song, right? Well, anyway, when he played it back and he said, here's what I learned about you, Kathy. He goes, when you focus in and discipline yourself to stay focused, you get whatever you need to get done. And it was interesting because I didn't like the word discipline at all. I didn't like either one of those words because if you know the disc profile at all, I was a high I off the chart. My disc profile has changed, I will tell you. But I was a high I off the chart. So focus, which is not my strength. I shouldn't reaffirm that. See this little squirrel? Can you see him? There he is. I have that. I got that on Amazon to remind me of how easily I get distracted because I do want to stay focused. And the discipline, the reason it bothered me, I related it to punishment. I come from an era when your dad's, when he was mad at you, you got the belt. And so I thought of discipline as pain. So when he put those two words together for me, they weren't working. But he played it back in the story because he showed me how I focused in and how I was disciplined and I made it happen. Despite failing that test by 1 point the first time and my father committing suicide when I was ready to do it the second time. And then the third time, man, nothing was going to stop me. And it didn't. And I had that career for 23 years. But it was in that career where I was sued. But boy, I'll tell you what, I learned so much from personal development. You'll see some other videos that I've got on here where I talk about different books that are empowering. My license plate's called Empowered on one of my cars because I believe in being empowered and I want to empower. When you give back, man, it just lifts you up. So when I told her the story, which I shared with her the whole story, I said, this is something that you want to start doing. I gave her a few books that I love. There's one, Weldon Long's The Power of Consistency. There's a new one I'm listening to right now, Die with Zero. Man, I really like it. It isn't about having zero money. It's about living a full life more than it is about money. I really like that one. We'll have links to those down there as well. But my point was when I talked to her originally about EXP, I don't think that she was ready to listen, but I think she's hungry. And this is what I want to talk to you about. She's hungry to feel energized again. She's hungry to feel life again in her business, because she even talked about, you get to a point where you're just bored. You're making money, but you're bored. But that change is not exciting. One of the things we say about XP is it's making real estate fun again. It is. I've been in here now 6.5 years. It's changed the whole trajectory of my life. I travel, I have fun. I got this incredibly cool car that I wouldn't have had. I have money. I have, my business did better. But it's the energy. If you surround yourself with the Energizer bunnies, there's a lot of people that come to EXP. They don't do anything different. They don't tap into any of the power that's over here. So it's still going to be boring for them. And they'll eventually leave. And I feel bad for them because they're not diving in. They're not participating. And life is about living, right? So I hope this meant something to you. I don't care what company you're at. Let's talk if you want to about EXP. But let's talk about reading that book, Die with Zero, because man, that's an energizing book. Do things like reading empowering books. I don't read them because that squirrel would be too distracted in me. I listen in Audible. They're always going in my car unless I'm driving my Stella because she has no top and I just need the music. But I encourage you to make changes in your life. Don't settle. Don't settle. Life is short. My gosh, I'll be 74 in just a couple months. Life goes by fast. And I don't want you looking back saying, oh man, I wish I'd done something. Let's do it now. So if you like stuff like this, please subscribe or share with your friends. And I want to empower you to be energized and have a happy, full life. So let's talk to them. Book a strategy call with me. Let's see if we can't figure something out together. You don't have to come to EXP if you don't want to. Be smart if you did, if you're a realtor and you really like diving in and being around cool people like me. But if not, no worries. I'll help you no matter what. So make comments below. Let's engage. Come on. See you on the next one.